I stared at the towering stack of cardboard boxes in my cramped Brooklyn apartment, the remnants of a life I thought would last forever, now reduced to labeled chaos. Kitchen, books, memories I'd rather forget. It was moving day, the kind that hits you like a freight train after a breakup. And I, Alex Thompson, 28-year-old graphic designer with a knack for bad decisions, was utterly alone in the mess. That's when the doorbell rang, and in walked Jordan Hayes, the handyman my soon-to-be ex had hired as a parting gift. A tall, broad-shouldered guy with tousled dark hair and eyes that seemed to see right through my forced smile. Jordan didn't waste time on small talk. He rolled up his sleeves, revealing tattoos that hinted at stories I suddenly wanted to hear, and dove straight into the heavy lifting. "Looks like you've got a war zone here," he said with a grin that crinkled the corners of his eyes, making the room feel less suffocating. I laughed for the first time in days, a real laugh, not the polite ones I'd been faking at work. As we worked side by side, our hands brushing occasionally while passing boxes, I felt a spark, an unfamiliar pull that made my heart race in a way it hadn't since college, when I'd buried those confusing feelings deep down. By midday, sweat-soaked and exhausted, we took a break on the fire escape, sharing lukewarm beers from the fridge. Jordan opened up first, talking about his life in Queens, how he'd grown up in a strict military family that expected him to follow in his father's footsteps. But he'd chosen carpentry instead, building things with his hands rather than tearing them down. "Freedom's underrated," he said, staring at the city skyline. I nodded, sharing bits of my own story, the failed engagement to Sarah, the one everyone thought was perfect, but deep down, I knew it wasn't right. "Sometimes you realize you're living someone else's dream," I confessed, my voice barely above a whisper. Jordan's gaze lingered on me, and in that moment, the air shifted. It wasn't just camaraderie anymore. As the afternoon wore on, the boxes dwindled, but the conversation deepened. Jordan admitted he'd been through a rough patch too. A relationship that ended because his partner couldn't handle the secrecy. "Family stuff," he muttered, avoiding my eyes. I pressed gently, and he revealed his father, a retired colonel, had disowned him after finding out he was gay. Said I was a disappointment to the Hayes name. My stomach twisted. I'd never come out to anyone, not even myself fully, but hearing his pain mirrored something in me. We finished the move just as the sun dipped low, and when Jordan helped me load the last box into the U-Haul, our hands touched again. This time, neither of us pulled away. That night, alone in my new, empty studio in Manhattan, I couldn't stop thinking about him. The way his laugh filled the silence, how his presence made the chaos bearable. I texted him a thank you, half expecting no reply, but my phone buzzed immediately. "Anytime. Coffee sometime?" My fingers hovered over the keyboard, a mix of excitement and terror washing over me. What was I doing? I'd always played it safe. Good job, straight-laced friends, the whole heteronormative package. But Jordan had cracked something open, and I wasn't sure I could seal it back up. The next few days blurred into a whirlwind of tentative texts and late-night calls. Jordan was patient, sharing stories of his coming-out journey, the friends he'd lost, the ones he'd gained. I listened, absorbing it all, while dodging questions from my own circle. My best friend, Mike, a Wall Street broker with conservative leanings, kept pushing me to date again. "Get back on the horse, man. Plenty of fish." But the only person I wanted to see was Jordan. Our first coffee turned into a walk through Central Park, where under the guise of friendship, we talked about everything. Dreams, fears, the weight of expectations. Yet, doubts crept in. My family back in Ohio was traditional. My parents attended a church that preached family values with a capital F. Coming out would shatter them or worse, me. Jordan sensed my hesitation. "You don't have to rush," he said one evening over takeout in his workshop, surrounded by half-finished furniture. But as we sat closer, our knees touching, the pull grew stronger. When he leaned in, his lips brushing mine in a tentative kiss, the world tilted. Felt right, terrifyingly so. But pulling back, I whispered, "I can't. Not yet." The conflict brewed inside me like a storm. At work, I designed campaigns for progressive brands, preaching inclusivity on billboards, but in my personal life, I hid. Jordan understood, but it hurt him. I could see it in his eyes. "I'm not asking for forever," he said. "Just honesty with yourself." His words echoed as I navigated family calls. My mom's subtle hints about grandkids. My dad's rants about woke culture ruining America. One night, after a heated dinner with old college buddies who joked about those gays, I realized the hypocrisy gnawing at me. Our relationship, if that's what it was, deepened in stolen moments. A hike in the Hudson Valley, where we held hands away from prying eyes. A movie night that ended in quiet confessions. But society intruded. Jordan's job on construction sites meant dealing with homophobic slurs daily. He shrugged them off, but I saw the toll. "It's just words," he'd say. But I knew better. My own world wasn't immune. Rumors at work about a colleague being outed and demoted under the guise of performance issues. As weeks turned to months, the high of new love clashed with reality. Jordan wanted more: public dates, introductions to friends. I balked, fearing judgment. "What if they reject me?" I asked. He held my face gently. "What if they don't? And even if they do, am I worth it?" His question haunted me, forcing a choice between comfort and truth. The turning point came during a weekend getaway to the Catskills, a cabin Jordan rented to clear our heads. Away from the city's noise, we let our guards down. Long walks by the lake, cooking simple meals, sharing dreams under starlit skies. It felt like a glimpse of what could be. But on the drive back, reality crashed in. My phone exploded with missed calls from my sister, Emily, who'd seen a photo on social media. Me and Jordan at a trailhead, arms around each other, posted by a mutual acquaintance without thinking. Panic set in. "Delete it," I urged Jordan, but it was too late. Emily confronted me that night in my apartment, her face a mix of confusion and concern. "Alex, is there something you need to tell me?" She wasn't angry, just worried, about Mom and Dad, about me fitting into our small-town roots. I broke down, admitting everything. The feelings I'd suppressed since high school, the relief of finally acknowledging them with Jordan. Emily hugged me, whispering, "I love you no matter what," but she warned, "Dad won't understand. Give it time." Word spread like wildfire. Mike called next, his tone laced with discomfort. "Dude, is this for real? I mean, you're not, you know." His words stung, a reminder of the casual bigotry in my circle. I defended myself, but the conversation ended awkwardly, with promises to talk later that never came. At work, whispers followed me. Colleagues who once collaborated freely now kept distance, as if my orientation was contagious. Jordan stood by me, but the strain showed. His own family scars reopened. He confided about holidays spent alone, the brother who stopped calling. "I won't push you into the fire," he said, "but hiding eats you alive." We argued for the first time when I skipped a pride event he invited me to, citing work deadlines. "It's not about the event," he snapped. "It's about us." Guilt twisted in my gut. I knew he was right, but fear paralyzed me. Society's conflicts amplified our personal ones. News headlines screamed about anti-LGBTQ legislation in states like Florida and Texas. Bans on books, restrictions on rights that made Jordan rage. "How can we build a life when the world wants to tear it down?" he'd ask. I had no answers, only empathy. One evening, after a protest he attended alone, he came home bruised from a scuffle with counter-protesters. Seeing him vulnerable shattered me. I bandaged his cuts, our touches turning tender, reaffirming why I couldn't let go. But the pressure mounted. My parents visited unannounced, sensing something off from Emily's vague hints. Dinner was tense. Dad ranted about liberal agendas destroying families, while Mom eyed me suspiciously. I stayed silent, the weight of unspoken truth suffocating. After they left, Jordan confronted me. "You can't live like this forever. Choose us or the facade." Tears streamed as I admitted my terror of losing them. "They're my family," I pleaded. "And what am I?" he replied softly, the hurt raw. The drama escalated when an anonymous email hit my boss's inbox, outing me with screenshots from that Catskills photo. Office politics turned vicious. A promotion I'd been eyeing slipped away, justified by team fit concerns. Paranoia set in. Who leaked it? Friends? Family? Jordan suspected Mike, but I defended him, causing another rift. You're still protecting them over us, Jordan accused. In the midst of chaos, moments of joy persisted. A quiet anniversary dinner at a hidden speakeasy, where we toasted to resilience. Helping Jordan with a woodworking project, our laughter echoing in his shop. These glimpses fueled hope, but the conflicts loomed larger. Jordan's ex resurfaced, offering uncomplicated acceptance, tempting him with what I couldn't yet give. I don't want easy, he told me. I want you. As autumn leaves fell, so did my resolve to hide. I confided in a therapist, unpacking years of denial. Sessions revealed how societal norms had shaped my choices, from career paths to relationships. Jordan joined one, sharing his journey, strengthening our bond. But external forces persisted. A family Thanksgiving invite that excluded him implicitly, forcing a decision. The climax built when Dad suffered a minor heart scare, pulling me back to Ohio. There, bedside confessions flowed. My fears, my love for Jordan. Dad's reaction was explosive. This isn't you. It's that city poisoning your mind. Mom mediated, torn between love and tradition. I left heartbroken, questioning if love could bridge such divides. Back in New York, Jordan waited, his patience fraying. I can't be your secret forever, he said. The choice loomed. Embrace authenticity or retreat to safety. Winter blanketed the city in snow, mirroring the chill in my relationships. After the Ohio fallout, calls from home dwindled to terse texts. Emily checked in secretly, supportive but cautious. Give them time, she urged. But time felt like an enemy, eroding the fragile foundation Jordan and I had built. He threw himself into work, late nights at job sites, while I buried myself in designs, avoiding the elephant in the room. A breakthrough came unexpectedly at a company holiday party. My boss, sensing the tension, pulled me aside. Alex, we've noticed the changes. If it's about your personal life, we support you. Her words, backed by the firm's diversity policy, lifted a weight. Emboldened, I introduced Jordan as my partner to a few colleagues via text, testing the waters. Responses varied, enthusiastic from some, awkward from others, but no outright rejection. It was a small victory, but it fueled courage. Jordan and I reconciled over hot cocoa in Washington Square Park, snowflakes dancing around us. I'm trying, I promised. He nodded, pulling me close despite onlookers. That public display, simple yet profound, marked a shift. We attended our first LGBTQ event together, a fundraiser for youth shelters, where stories of resilience inspired us. Meeting others who'd navigated similar storms reminded me we weren't alone. Yet, societal backlash reared its head. Jordan's construction crew discovered our relationship through a shared social media post. Slurs turned to sabotage, tools misplaced, assignments ignored. He confronted his foreman, who dismissed it as locker room talk. Frustrated, Jordan quit, starting his own freelance gig. But the financial strain added tension. This is what they do, wear you down, he said bitterly. My own world cracked further when Mike hosted a guys' night and excluded me. Things are weird now, he texted. The betrayal stung. We'd been friends since college. I called him out, sparking a heated debate. It's not hate, man, just different. His words echoed broader societal divides, where tolerance masked discomfort. Jordan encouraged me to cut ties. You deserve better. Family drama peaked during Christmas. I flew home alone, hoping for reconciliation. Dad avoided the topic, focusing on football and weather, while Mom whispered prayers for my confusion. A blow-up ensued when I mentioned Jordan. He's not welcome here, Dad declared. Choose your path wisely. Heartbroken, I left early, tears freezing on the plane ride back. Jordan greeted me with open arms, but the incident deepened our discussions on future. What about marriage? Kids? He asked. I envisioned it, a life together, but obstacles loomed. adoption barriers, legal hurdles in conservative states. News of Supreme Court rumblings on same-sex rights fueled anxiety. We're fighting an uphill battle, I admitted. Amid turmoil, love persisted in quiet ways. Jordan surprised me with a custom bookshelf for my apartment, engraved with our initials discreetly. We volunteered at a community center, helping queer youth, finding purpose in advocacy. These acts fortified us against external storms. But controversy struck when a local blog featured our story anonymously, shared by a well-meaning friend, as an example of workplace discrimination. It went viral, drawing support and vitriol. Trolls flooded my inbox with hate. Supporters sent encouragement. The exposure forced transparency. I came out publicly on LinkedIn, detailing my journey. Responses poured in. Lost connections rekindled. New allies emerged. Jordan faced his own reckoning. His estranged brother reached out, apologizing after years of silence. Saw the article. Proud of you. The reunion was tentative but hopeful. Yet, not all endings were happy. Dad emailed a curt disownment, citing biblical verses. As spring approached, our bond tested to its limits. A job offer for Jordan in San Francisco promised better opportunities, but meant relocation. Come with me, he pleaded. The choice. Uproot my life, embrace change, or stay anchored in familiarity. The decision weighed heavily as cherry blossoms bloomed in Central Park. I mulled over pros and cons, New York's hustle versus California's promise of acceptance. Jordan's eyes held quiet desperation. He'd sacrificed much for us. This could be our fresh start, he said during a picnic, his hand in mine openly now. Work complicated matters. My firm offered a remote option, but ties to the city, friends, routine held me back. Emily visited, urging me forward. You've changed, Alex. For the better. Her approval meant everything, a bridge to family perhaps. Society's undercurrents persisted. Protests erupted over transgender rights, drawing us in. We marched together, signs high, voices united. The energy was electric, but clashes with police reminded us of fragility. Jordan's resolve strengthened. We can't hide from the fight. Personal conflicts intertwined. Mom called unexpectedly, her voice trembling. I miss you. Dad's stubborn, but he's hurting too. It was a crack in the armor, hinting at possible reconciliation. I shared plans about San Francisco. She listened without judgment. Be happy, she whispered. Mike resurfaced with an apology beer. I was wrong, scared of change. We rebuilt tentatively, his growth mirroring mine. But not everyone evolved. Some acquaintances faded, their biases unyielding. Jordan's move loomed. Packing his workshop echoed our first meeting. Boxes stacking, emotions swirling. I won't go without you, he declared one night, pulling me into an embrace. Tears mixed with resolve. I chose love over fear. The relocation was chaotic. Cross-country drive, U-Haul laden with dreams. En route, we detoured through national parks, forging memories. Arriving in San Francisco felt like breathing fresh air, vibrant queer community, progressive vibe. Settling in, challenges arose. Jordan's business boomed, but my remote work isolated me. Homesickness hit. Calls home were strained. Dad remained distant, but Mom sent care packages, subtle olive branches. Our relationship deepened amid new freedoms. Public affection without fear, friends who celebrated us. We discussed marriage seriously, attending a friend's wedding that inspired envy. But controversy followed. A family reunion invite arrived, sans Jordan. I declined, sparking debate. Emily mediated, forced the issue gently. We hosted a virtual meet, introducing Jordan. Dad logged off early, but stayed long enough to see our happiness. Professional triumphs balanced personal strife. I landed a campaign for an LGBTQ nonprofit, channeling experiences into art. Jordan mentored young tradespeople, promoting inclusivity. As summer waned, a crisis tested us. Jordan's father passed suddenly. Returning to Queens for the funeral, old wounds reopened. His brother welcomed us, but extended family whispered. At the graveside, Jordan broke down. I held him, defying stares. The event catalyzed change. Dad reached out post-funeral, prompted by Mom. Life's short. Let's talk. Our conversation was raw. Prejudices aired. Understanding sought. No instant fix, but a start. Back in SF, we thrived. Engaged quietly, rings symbolizing commitment. Society's debates raged, election cycles amplifying voices. But our bubble felt secure. Yet doubts lingered. Was the cost worth it? Lost relationships, uprooted lives. Jordan reassured. Love reshapes everything. Fall in San Francisco brought crisp air and introspection. Our engagement announcement drew mixed reactions. Cheers from new friends, silence from old ones. Emily flew out to celebrate, toasting to futures. You've inspired me, she said, hinting at her own evolving views. Work flourished. My designs won awards, spotlighting queer narratives. Jordan's business expanded, hiring diverse talent. We volunteered more, advocating for policy changes, testifying against discriminatory bills, marching for equality. Family reconciliation progressed slowly. Dad visited hesitantly, touring the city. Awkward dinners evolved into genuine talks. I don't get it all, he admitted. But you're my son. Jordan's charm won him over gradually. Shared beers bridged gaps. Societal conflicts persisted, fueling debates. A Supreme Court ruling on rights sparked nationwide protests. We joined, voices hoarse from chanting. Backlash included threats. Anonymous mail decrying our lifestyle. Security tightened, but resolve hardened. Personal choices defined us. We planned a wedding, intimate, beachside, inviting all, knowing not everyone would come. Absences hurt, but presences mattered more. As vows neared, reflections deepened. The journey from that Brooklyn move to here, heartbreaks, triumphs, shaped us. Jordan's hand in mine, a constant anchor. The ceremony was perfect. Sunset vows, tears of joy. Dad walked me down the aisle, a symbol of acceptance. Speeches highlighted struggles overcome, inspiring guests. Honeymoon in Hawaii brought peace. Lazy days, deep conversations. Worth every fight, Jordan whispered. Back home, life normalized. Careers balanced with activism. Family visits increased. We considered adoption, navigating bureaucracy with optimism. Yet, controversies lingered. A work scandal, a colleague's outing leading to firing, reminded us of ongoing battles. We fought back, suing for justice, amplifying voices. In quiet moments, I pondered paths not taken. Safer but emptier. Love demanded courage, rewarding richly. As our story closes, one question remains. Is true love always justified? Even when it upends lives and challenges societal norms, true or false?